Hi there, Genshin enthusiasts. I am Renthema. Today we are not talking about the fact that geo elements crystallize is bad for other reactions, or that the only way to go is a geo mono team. Nah. Today we are diving down deeper, as I feel like the geo element could have been a lot more than just a weak rock bubble maker. What if Geo had actual reactions with other elements? So, let's roll back a bit. Genshin's elemental reactions are essentially taken from the real world. Duh. Who could have guessed? Water evaporates with heat and or pressure, cause physics, which makes a vaporized reaction in Genshin. Water in the nature conducts electricity due to other particles being in the water that conduct electricity, like minerals and stuff like that, which in Genshin is called electrocharged. Pyro melts cryo just like fire melts ice, and so on and so forth. You get the point. In Genshin, however, rocks do nothing. Crystallize is a useless reaction. But in that case, what could you do with said rocks? Also a quick note, I am not a game developer, so take this with a grain of salt. This video is more for shaking up your brains to think of all the possibilities Geo could have been, rather than an actual proposal for what should be in the game. Feel free to bash me in the comments regardless. Oh, but the current Geo is then I don't need to be a game dev to see that. Anyway. Add temperature and pressure, and you can melt those pesky things kids throw at you in the countryside because you have become a boomer. Not talking from personal experience. So, from a gameplay side of things, you could make a stasis reaction with Pyro and Geo, since molten lava in small quantities will cool quickly, like say when a volcano sprays small lava goo all around. The outside temperature is just so much cooler than what it was in the volcano, that those small pieces will form rocks like basalt pretty quickly. According to Google at least. I am no scientist, but this sounds more or less correct. Teyvat has its own laws, anyway, and my Minecraft expertise also says that cool liquid water and hot liquid rock make cool hard rock. Therefore, Pyro melts the Geo, and then, because the reactions happen outside, then the relatively low temperature cools the molten Geo for a quick stasis effect. Would that not be cool? A quick editor's note. The reason Zhongli's burst works so well in this example is because when meteorites, or well, any space rock for that matter, hits the atmosphere, it will start burning up and, well, essentially melting. So, technically, Zhongli's burst is already a mix of Pyro and Geo. Maybe some Genshin theory person can tell me down in the comments whether Teyvat has had any volcanic eruptions, just to see if the world of Teyvat has a law against melting rock. Just in case. Moving on. What about Electro with Geo? Well, there are metallic minerals out there like copper, nickel, lithium, just to name a few, that conduct electricity. But did you know? Quartz crystals also conduct electricity. And do you know what? They have this mechanism in the game already, where crystals are on the ground and you chain electricity through them. You know? In Inazuma? So, Geo and Electro together could form a crystal that has a charge, and that charged crystal could attack enemies in a certain range or something like that. Would be real cool, or if it's elemental application we are talking about, then what about having another hidden Electro charged on the opponent? Not as cool, but doable, and this idea would not be too far-fetched, like from actual facts and how the real world works. Why was I not in the dev team? Anyway, And well, yes, this is a twist on the current crystallized reaction, but I mean, why not, right? No need to scrap the initial idea completely, I think. You know how water makes mud if poured on dirt? Yeah, that. Geo and Hydro together for a massive slow effect, perhaps? Because moving in mud is a lot harder than moving on solid dirt. Damage? Well, as we can already see, not all elements are created equal. And as a support element, this reaction does not need to do extra damage. It would just help you do more damage when the enemy is slowed or something along those lines. Now yes, Cryo already slows without other elements being present. But as this is a reaction, maybe the slow effect could be greater. Cut me some slack, I am just one uncreative person. Feel free to make other suggestions. Have you ever seen cracks in rocks or perhaps even big holes in roads? You would have if you had ever gone outside. These cracks and holes happen due to temperature shifts, mainly due to water freezing and therefore expanding between small spaces in solid mineral structures. So name the reaction however you please, but Cryo and Geo together could do some extra damage together thanks to that expansion and cracking property. Now, how to translate that into the game exactly is a gray area for me. Maybe like a sort of brittle effect, like that one goat character has in League. If you know, you know. But I know for certain that frostbite and or freezing something on your body equals big ouches. But hey, what about Anemo? Well, I got wind erosion for you as a base. Look up aeolian processes if you want to know more. I hope I pronounced that correctly, but essentially erosion is also something we are familiar with in Genshin, or at least mechanics that are close to it. Corrosion, for example. Corrosion is used by rift wolves and sometimes as an additional mechanic in the abyss. So why not make it so that the players can make a similar effect with Geo and Anemo? Corrosion eats through shields, so erosion could eat through shields as well, or erode those shields quicker. Sadly, I am not a game developer, so I'll have to leave the detailed explanation to another PowerPoint presentation in a future meeting. Now, what about Dendro, which is still unreleased? Well, I don't know exactly how the element works in-game, but its basis is plants, and plants need minerals to grow. So, the Geo element could work as a amplification element for Dendro, maybe increasing the effects that other Dendro reactions will have after being amped by Geo, or something along those lines, like a super plant, or you know, like in the story Jack and the Beanstalk, where the boy grew a humongous beanstalk that took him to a castle in the skies. So, Geo's crystallized reaction is an uncreative piece of garbage that is plaguing the game. Maybe not plaguing the game, but I mean, I think MiHoYoverse could have done a better job, or Hoyoverse, or whatever they go by these days. Had they had another meeting before making the Geo element, I think it could have been a lot better. But since the game is far from ready, maybe they'll change it in the future. Or is that just a huge amount of copium I am currently inhaling? Feel free to let me know what you think. Glad you made it this far though. I hope to see you in another video. I'll plug some playlists and videos shamelessly on the screen now. Bye bye!